I watched your clip today where you think that the Big 12 is going to cannibalize itself and it's going to be a really good, deep conference. Well, now you just said knowing who you are. Well, we, being Colorado Buffaloes, going back to the Big 12, a place where I thought we dominated for a long time. Just talk about that move a little bit, and then I want to talk about the schedule with you in North Dakota State.
So I'm really proud of Colorado.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very proud of Rick George, the athletic director. I'm proud of Phil DeStefano, the chancellor at the time of this move, because they saw the handwriting on the wall and they were leaders and not followers. The reason why this conference looks like it does is because of those gentlemen. Brett Yormark obviously had the vision, the commissioner of the Big 12. But through conversations with all of those gentlemen, I can tell you that Colorado was not waiting around and saying like, well, if they go, then we'll go. They led. And in many cases, and I would say in a lot of ways, they're the reason why those teams had a lifeline to begin with. The Pac-12 was crumbling. Colorado didn't do that. Colorado didn't kill the Pac-12. The Pac-12 killed themselves because of their greed and lack of vision. Once that happened, then you're standing on the deck of the Titanic and you got to figure out where you're going to go. And Colorado didn't. Yeah, that's right. You don't want to slap the base and go down with the ship. So Colorado had some vision and some foresight and found a place to go. So I'm really proud of them. Now, when it comes to just like, what do I think it actually means? Well, it's a really deep conference. I don't think that there is a great team in that conference, which means it's going to be a very difficult conference. Now, having said that, I still don't believe that it's as difficult a schedule as what they faced last year, namely because they don't have to face the quarterback play that they faced a year ago.
I agree.
The quarterback play was so elite in the Pac-12 last year that it was very, very tough. So if you're starting to put your hat on in terms of like, well, what does this look like this year for Colorado? Colorado last year played 6 ranked opponents and lost badly to 1. And in 5 other games, they were in 1-possession games in the fourth quarter. When you bring back the leadership that they do at the main positions, I think that you can assume, at least from our seat, analyzing the sport, you can assume that you're going to turn some of those outcomes and flip some of those outcomes. That's why I think Vegas giving 5.5 total for Colorado is absurd. I would put it at 8.
Yep.
I think that they're an 8-win team all day long. Namely, I think they've got one of, if not the best quarterback in the conference, maybe the country. Maybe the best non-quarterback in the country, and Travis Hunter. And here's the thing about the line of scrimmage, Matt, and I'm interested in your take on this because everybody wants to dominate at the line of scrimmage. And I get that. And to be elite, yes, you got to dominate at the line of scrimmage. It's one thing to dominate, and it's one thing to just be okay or good enough. And the thing is, when you give up 52 sacks, I know it's a combination between the quarterback holding the ball too long and the offensive line not doing their job. And you've done breakdowns, and I've seen you do breakdowns, and they're really good about just the mistakes, the MAs, the lack of technique that they were using up front. And all of that was apparent. My contention would be that if you just go to giving up 28 sacks or 30, which is not great, but way better, that you can turn a lot of those losses into wins. That's why I land on 8 games.
And look, I agree with you. I think that on both sides of the football, Bailey and I have talked about this with several guests, and we talk about it on the show all the time. 52 sacks, it is atrocious. 30 sacks, we might be able to live with that. I mean, it's not a good number.
No, it's not a good number, and you're still in the bottom half of your conference, but it's not atrocious.
It's 22 more opportunities that you didn't have to get rid of the football. And, you know, when they blitz or when somebody's hitting you, there's usually somebody running free. Very rarely in college football do down 4 win. So that's another thing is I'm hoping that the better personnel, the better coaching from Coach Holt, Seton is a freak. I think that Brown is a really good player. I love the Zelinka's kid. The Myers kid that they brought in is a really good football player. The right tackle is still a little iffy. We got to figure that out, and I'm sure that they will. We'll see on Thursday night. But again, they only averaged like 2.3 yards a carry last year. I'm hoping that they can get 4 yards a carry this year, just double it. So if they can do that in the sack game as well, it puts them in a very advantageous position.
Even if they just got to 3.8, is it great? No. But man, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Well, just think about like the difference between 03 and 04 when we couldn't really run the ball with Calhoun in 03. But then in 04, I thought our O-line was probably not as good, but a better unit.
Yeah.
And we could run the ball with Bobby and Vic. Like how much did that help you as a quarterback?
Oh, bro, you don't have to tell me. 03 was hard. It was hard.
And that was a loaded team. I thought the 03 team was way more talented than the 04 team, but the 04 team was more of a unit. I think it might have been because of the scandal or whatever, but we really came together in 04.
Yeah.
Remember when BG Brooks picked us to go 0-12 and we were in the locker room like, man, fuck this guy. I can't believe he picked us to go 0-12. Like, come on.
You got a better memory than me. Granted, I got hit in the head a lot. I don't remember him picking us to go 0-12. I do remember that being a really close team in 04.
It was.
I remember it was a more frustrating offense to be the quarterback of in 2004 than in 03, because in 03 we had like some real legitimate threats on the outside.
DJ, McCoy, Donahoe. We had dudes.
Bloom was on that team.
Yep, Bloom.
So we could throw it. We were in the wrong defensive structure. Like I've always said, if you could put the 04 defense on the 03 offense, like we might have had something. Yeah,
we would have won 10 games.
Yeah, I think so too. We should have won 10 in 04.
We should have. With that Missouri loss and the A&M overtime loss. The A&M overtime loss still, I like have flashbacks of being in the muddle, and I'm like, Hankowitz, put Ewu on spy on McKee, please. And he was like, do your job. And I was like, fine, fuck it.
No, it wasn't. I mean, unfortunately for Bobby Purify fumbled. And I think it was maybe the only mistake Bobby ever made in his career. He was the most reliable teammate we might have had.
Ever.
Oh, man, we're in the weeds now talking about the loss.
Sure, and it's awesome because everybody in the comments is like, oh, they're taking us back to 04.
Oh, man.
All right, so look.
They kicked a field goal. You guys held them to a field goal in overtime.
Yep, and then
we had the ball second, and I remember getting in the huddle, and like there was zero question that we were going to score like 100 times out of 100.
You were chopping up.
When that ball hit the ground, I've never been as sick after like just in the moment on the field as that one. Oh.
Yeah, it still hurts me because we had them the whole game. We just beat the shit out of them the whole game. And they came back on us, and then at the end, it rips away from you. But look, that's the beauty of this sport. That's why we love it so much. Just because you have to deal with the pain. You have to deal with the victories. You got to be able to go the next week and say, at one point in that 04 season, we were 3-0, and then all of a sudden we were 4-4. And we're looking at ourselves.
Is that what we were?
Yeah, we started the conference 1-4. And then remember we had to beat Kansas on the road, we had to beat K-State at home and Nebraska on the road, and then we needed Iowa State to beat Missouri. And they played the day after. I
remember all this stuff.
Because this is what I do, dog. And then the day after, Missouri and Iowa State played, so after we beat Nebraska and Lincoln. So we won those 3 games, and then we came home, and I remember sitting on the sofa with Sam and Sam and Gardner, and watching Iowa State beat Missouri on a field goal and calling Coach Wilson back, we're in the Big 12 title. And then I put my phone down and I was like, fuck, we're in the Big 12 title. Oklahoma's pretty good.
God, they were so good.
God, they beat the shit out of us that year. But neither here nor there.